Hi, it's Susie from Pink Diamond Guide. How are you? Just wanted to drop by and do an update. I'm going to be away for a few days. I have a lovely wedding to attend. It means I have to travel for a little bit, so I won't be doing updates over the weekend. But I wanted to get in and do one today because we have a few transits taking place while I'm away, and I wanted to read on them before I go just to see what the energy is going to look like. So we've had Pluto traveling in retrograde through Capricorn since the end of April, and now as of the weekend, as of the 8th, it's about to go direct again, which is going to have a significant impact on people. On top of that, we've got our Mercury in Virgo energy happening. We've got our Venus in Libra. And these changes are all, when you put them all together, they start to become significant. So I wanted to put these energies together and just see how that's going to play out for the collective. Now, that Pluto energy has been really, really slow traveling. It's, it's way out there, Pluto. It's one of those last planets of our solar system that does its transit across the sky really slowly. So the retrograde energy was all about we were diving into what we needed to do to mend our broken hearts and break through fears. At times it would have produced some big emotions, and on top of that we've had that Jupiter Chiron retrograde, which was a level of magnified healing. So you put all of these energies together and it makes a really big washing machine of energies for us to be able to move and learn and grow. That's what this year, this last part of the year has, well, from that time in April through May, June, July, August, all of these transits that have been taking place were all designed to push us more into the truth of who we are. And as they come out of their retrogrades one by one, we start to bring the fruit of those learnings online. So as Pluto starts to go direct, we should start to be able to express the ideals of, Pluto's about what, mysterious things and ideals, maybe a little bit secretive in the way that energy transpires. And when it goes direct, after this big retrograde, we should be able to start to express these ideals of what we've been moving through with mending our broken heart, breaking our fears, and those big emotions. So now we have Mercury in Virgo wanting to be very, very practical with communication. It will be super interesting to see what is said about what we've learned, if that makes sense. And then we've got that Venus in Libra ideal, which wants to come through with a harmonious, balanced, charming energy. This sets the stage for some really beautiful conversations about where we've been and what we've learned. So I'm going to read from the perspective of the divine feminine first. We do look at twins in separation, but these energies affect you no matter where you are on your journey. You may not have met your twin, you may have just broken up, you might be in harmonious union. Wherever you sit on that scale, these energies push against us all. Righto. So I'm going to read for divine feminine first, and we'll put some cards over for the divine masculine, and we'll wrap it up with some divine love oracle. Let's see, what have we got? We've got, let's read on this. Pluto going direct energies with Mercury in Virgo, Venus in Libra. What have we got? Let's stop shuffling right about there. Straight out of the gate, the Three of Pentacles. If you follow my readings, you'll know what a big card that is for me to see come out. In that, it's a big twin flame card, and yeah, the push is on. See, talking about what's caused us pain. Oh, this is awesome. The Seven of Wands in our soul space. We've got the Six of Cups in our challenge space. We've got the Lovers as the advice card. Nice, thank you, Spirit. And the likely outcome is the High Priestess. From the bottom of the deck, we've got the Strength card, the King of Pentacles, the Star. We've got the Nine of Swords, the Eight of Swords, and the Two of Cups. And look at this. The Four of Wands, the Chariot, and the Four. I'm going to take these because in that last reading that I did, do you remember what we had? If you've watched them, these two came up in similar positions. This ideal of wanting to have happy, harmonious unions with our Four of Wands, And the Two of Cups energy, which is that really loving, balanced, charming, harmonious energy. It's really lovely that these two come through again in similar positions, which means when you get consistent messages like that, you can rely on them a little bit and you can go, yeah, this is a genuine push. Now here we've got the Four of Swords, which is suggesting that it's a time to do some really serious healing, like to really lean on. And I'm pretty sure this comes through in the last reading as well, that it is time to get into meditation. It is time to really understand what your harmonious union needs to move forward and to take action on it, to really charge forward on what you're doing to bring these unions into balance, into this. I'm actually love that those energies come through again to reaffirm that idea that spirit is really trying to push us forward. So the next level of energy, here we go. We're bringing through this lovely, charming, harmonious, balanced energy. We can thank Venus and Libra for those energies. Here though, look, it gets you all up in your head. Why divine feminine? And are you having trouble sleeping? I can really identify with this. The past couple of nights I have found it so hard to sleep, and then when I did go to sleep, it was the dreams that I've been having. Oh my word, weird things like pulling stones out of my ears, and then big floods coming in, and then hiding under a barreling wave, but when I'm under the wave there's no water hitting me. And oh my gosh, the weird images that I've been processing when I've been asleep, and then in the daytime. And I was trying to sleep last night, and Ricky says to me, he goes, just stop overthinking. It's like he can hear the cogs ticking from where he is. But we're in a very lovely, harmonious space in the way that we're connecting and communicating right now, which is really lovely. So if this is a push that's coming through, I feel like we're already in this energy, and that practical thinking, you know, like going, and like Eight of Swords is overthinking, it is, but it's, you know, the way this one represents is you're not trapped in a cage. You know, you are free to walk out of that overthinking at any point and settle into thoughts of harmony and balance and connection. And this ideal of having a big dream space is, you know, like it's kind of like the fruit of having all of these energies playing out simultaneously. What you can't process in your daytime thinking plays out as a dream sequence. And, you know, like, it's keeping me up at night. I'm finding it very, very hard to fall asleep. But when I fall asleep, oh my word, the dreams that come through are just like the imagery. It's so lucid and so available to give me messages about what I'm not processing in the daytime. So there's a lot of information coming through right now about what these harmonious connections are looking like. But the push, the energy that Ricky and I are feeling is definitely a very harmonious one right now. After what was a little bit of a tussle, we did have some more energy to work through and discuss and talk and get into overthinking about. But it seems that energy is starting to reside. Now, remember what I said is when we went through that retrograde period, it's like that Mercury retrograde, it's like the wave comes all the way in and then the energy goes all the way out, and then you backtrack through the energies, and we definitely experienced that, but it moved much quicker, and we're in that shadow of the retrograde now. So you know, we're still sort of burning off the end of that energy, but it's moving into something that's feeling more harmonious and more balanced, more able to have practical communication. But it has an ease about it. It has a joy. It has a softness. The next push from the universe is moving into the star energy. And look, I talk a lot about how the cosmos is the governor of what we do. And I'm feeling that this is, you know, you can read this star energy in a bunch of different ways depending on where it shows up. But here it's like, when it's coming in next to the King of Pentacles, I'm seeing it as the governor of our actions. So it's, you know, how the energies are moving is what's pushing us into the energy or into the action that we need to take to build the realities that we live in. So it's understanding what you focus on. It's trusting your instinct. It's understanding all of the different facets of what make you who you are, all the mechanics of the operation, and allowing the energy of the cosmos to guide you into the lesson and into the process. Now, here's where it becomes interesting, because if you don't have something that you need to work through, you don't require strength, because this card comes through as an inner strength, right? So even though there's a physical strength required, the will that it takes to maintain physical strength is an inner strength. It's a strength that comes from within. So when these processes are coming upon you, and the universe is going, right now you're in a window of understanding the frequencies of faith, hope, and love. And to get you into the next layer of those energies, I need you to be in a space where you're having some level of internal rebellion, where dramatic change is required. You might have to lean deep into pain. You might have to be very practical about what you've learnt about your broken heart and busting through fears and big emotions. This card comes around when the push is on for you to show what you've learnt, right? You don't need strength if you're not being challenged, right? So the universe is going, okay, I've guided you, I've provided you with what you've needed. You're now in the spotlight. I need you to get into the mechanics of the operation. I need you to be applying what you've learned to your journey in a very, very practical way, because the push is on. Remember down here, the push is on. You have the Chariot and you have these all sat within cooey of each other, right? The push is on to bring these unions together, to bring them into harmony and bring healing, right, and understanding. But to get there, there's actions that are required, and it takes you digging in and doing the work, the spiritual work, the stuff that lifts your vibration, the stuff that moves you to brings your baseline higher than like where most of the population is sitting. Your job is to really be that catalyst of higher vibration that lifts everybody else up to carve the path. This takes strength. The cosmos is gone. I've led you. I've taught you. You're now in the spotlight. You've got everything that you need. Put the mechanics into place. It takes your commitment. Righto. The push from the universe directly is the Three of Pentacles. If you know me, you know this is my Twins on Mission card, right? If you've watched these readings before, the push is to bring twins into mission. Now, I had an interesting reflection, because I made a big call in the last reading saying by the end of the Australian summer, which is February, that twins can be online. What does that mean? Now, that doesn't mean that you have to be walking hand in hand on the beach with your twin for you to be online. It means that you're holding the vibration, right? That you're holding that higher level that's doing the work required for all of humanity, because Three of Pentacles is all about mission, and the mission is to raise the vibration, to bring in the new archetype. Does it mean for some twins that you will be in physical 3D union? Yes, it will. But what it will essentially, what I'm predicting when I say twins will be online, is that they will be understanding what it is they have to do, and they will be living in the higher vibration to bring forth this energy, to bring forth a new archetype into this scenario. So yes, for some twins it means 3D reunions. For a lot of twins it will mean 3D reunions, but it's not for all, because we have to tackle things like free will, and we have to tackle things like people who don't want to do the work, people who don't want to evolve and put the mechanics into play, people who don't want to listen to the cosmos and stand in the spotlight, people who aren't listening to the messages in their dreams, people who don't want to get out of their heads and the overthinking and work through the processes. And this healing to bring us into alignment, right? To charge us forward into what it is that we need to do. There will be people who just say, no, it's not right. And free will knock you out of this blessing. It will. It will knock you out of mission, and you'll have to work a little harder to get there. How are you currently showing up? And this is why this is a powerful message. Because right now we're coming into Pluto is gone direct, right? So what will be in the spotlight is everything that has been worked through over while Pluto has been in retrograde. And more often than not, there's a bunch of broken hearts, amongst that mix. Look at the size. I say it all the time. Look at the size of the person. Look at the size of the heart. Look at the size of the swords. Think that doesn't cause some pain? Yeah, it causes some pain. And Pluto coming direct now is and with that Mercury Virgo, I keep saying it, Mercury Virgo transit as well, like Mercury's direct in Virgo and the Venus Libra station. You're going to want to talk about this heartbreak. It's going to be on display and it's going to need some level of resolution. This is what the work is all about over here. Getting into these spaces, diving in, doing the meditations required to find the pain points, and working through those processes with which will heal you. Let the dream space tell you what's going on, right? Trust the cosmos to be putting you where you need to be, and then get to bloody work. The King of Pentacles he's a worker. He literally gets up, plans, goes after what he wants, and he achieves his result. And that takes resolve. It takes strength. It takes grit. It takes will. But the universe wants it to happen, wants to move it all forward. Here, this is why I'm getting on my high horse a little bit about it, because the Seven of Wands is very, very defensive. What are you going to be defensive about? Are you going to be defensive in the fact that you don't want to do the work? Are you going to be defensive in the fact that you don't want to evolve into the next stage of the journey? Are you going to be defensive about the fact, I don't even know if I'm a twin? Or are you going to be defensive in a different way? Are you going to go, yes, this is up for discussion. Yes, I'm going to move through it. Yes, I'm a twin. Yes, I'm on mission. Yes, my defensive stance is that I want to evolve and I want my union to come online. I want to be sitting in that higher vibration so as to open the opportunity to come into union in 3D. Mission first. Well, I'm going to say self first. Self and mission are intertwined. So if you're doing the work around self, you will be doing the work required for mission. And then we can start to talk about what these 3D connections look like. What are the challenges, the past, what you've been through? No, I can't even make this stuff up, can I? Like what's going to come around. We've just been, like I said, through that big retrograde where all our broken-hearted fears and emotions were in some kind of a washing machine being swirled around. But now these challenges of the past are very much in your face. They're going, I have to deal with these swords in my heart and have what is required to move our connection forward. Here, the challenge is to go, and it's, I did this too. I'm not immune from this. And I played this out with Ricky in getting back into imagined stress because he hadn't actually done anything to provoke the stress. He hadn't. But I got into imagined stress because there was a repeat scenario that once upon a time would have had to, would have caused a rupture. And I let myself get into imagined stress as if we were back there in that moment. And it caused me to want to pull away, want to pull back, want to not say what was causing me upset in the moment. But where we are now, because the union is online, so to speak, we're in that place where we're able to bring harmony back to the situation. Now, you're sitting in separation, and it could well be that this card sitting in the advice from Spirit is going that you're going to have choices to make around your connection. And are those choices reunion? Are those choices going, I'm going to allow this to come forward, and even though I have a bunch of stuff I still need to work through, I'm going to allow the beginning of union to occur, that I'm able to be a little bit less defensive. And look, this is hard. And I know, like, even at this point, it's like going, it's still really, really hard to every day trust that the connection is going to continue to bring harmony. And every time these spikes of pain come up, I have to work the process as intensely as I advise you to, in going, what is my pain point? Why am I revisiting this scenario? And it's going to be different for every set of twins. But it's like the pain point that comes up for me is actually something that is from way back in my childhood, but it's a pattern that has continued to repeat. And I've bought, you know, Ricky is my mirror, so he keeps reflecting the scenario back at me and goes, when are you going to get to a point where you evolve out of it? Right? When are you going to evolve out of this very, very, very old level of pain that you are still holding on to? And just the very action is going to trigger you into a spiral of feeling like someone's doing you some damage. And it was imagined stress. Like the scenario itself didn't do any damage, but it put me into a space where I was harping back into the past and leaning into imagined stress, where the connection goes, well, I'm your mirror, it's causing you pain, what are you going to do about it? Are you going to find where the pain point is and actually start to do what is required, what you know to be true to do, right? There's our King of Pentacles. There's our Strength card. There's our meditation. There's our overthinking. There's our restless nights and spirit trying to tell us what to do. Excuse me. Are we going to do this? What's required? Let the cosmos push us into the space where we will use what we've learned. We will, excuse me, draw on our inner strength to put the tools in place to actually do the work to shift the block so that we can hold harmonious union. Now, it's going to show up differently for everybody, right? It's going to show up differently for everybody. So you've got to work your process. And if you haven't seen them yet, I've been putting key concept videos up that give, you know, indicators on or processes on how you can move pain forward when these pain strikes arise. There's processes that I rely on to shift it into a space where I can actually work the energy to move into more harmony. So that's over. There's a playlist of key concepts if you think that will be useful. High Priestess. Again, we had over here the meditation space. So the likely outcome on this energy, Divine Feminine, is it's going to want to push you into a space where you're leaning deeply into the 5D energies and wanting them to manifest as 3D energies. So you had this push for healing come through underneath the deck and going deliberate meditation, deliberate getting into that 5D space and trusting that the High Priestess is going to give you what you need when you commune with her. She's the gatekeeper, so she's the one that lets you through into those other realms of information, and the likely outcome is that you're going to spend some time with the High Priestess. I feel like the High Priestess is definitely influencing my dream space at the moment. Seriously, whenever I do, I struggle to fall asleep, but when I do, I attempt meditations and work my way through the process of meditation. But honestly, that dream space at the moment, holy moly, is it alive and well. So for mine, the High Priestess is trying to bring messages through my subconscious mind, things that I'm not going to attempt to control. And I'm going to look for edification out there in the real world to let me know that the healings that I am working on are actually having some level of effect. So for mine, this Pluto moving direct this weekend, I can see very, very clearly the things that have been brought through from the other realm that are designed to make changes for me, designed to help me understand myself more and to move more into my higher consciousness and goals of the greater good. So focusing in on yourself, sometimes it's just, you know, it is about your twin, and it's definitely, you know, about the journey, but like so much of it you have to do is working on yourself, and you just see the side effect of the work you do in the connection. Righto, let's move this over to Divine Masculine and see what you've got going on. Let's have a look. Let's have a look at what's going on in the Divine Masculine energy and get a bit of a read. I would have done this reading tonight when Ricky got home, but like I'm about to travel for a few days and I didn't want to get sidetracked and not explore these energies and see what's happening. So I thought I'll get in today when I've got a minute to make sure that I get these energies. I really wanted to have a look into them. So let's have a look. Divine Masculine, what have you got going on? Page of Cups. Oh, that came through in the last one too. And the Devil comes back again. The Ace of Pentacles, the Two of Pentacles, the Ten of Pentacles, and what have we got? The Page of Swords. Ooh, so he does want to communicate. This is really interesting. Really interesting. At the bottom of the deck, the Justice card, the Seven of Swords, the Empress, the High Priestess, the Hermit, and the Lovers. Wow, isn't that an intense push on the Divine Masculine right now? Man, there's a few things I want to say about this. I'm going to let Spirit just take me where they want to go. There's a lot in this, actually. Righto. Again, look at our High Priestess. She's coming through to help the process on both sides of the coin. We've got the Lovers and the High Priestess. You know, look, this is a Divine Feminine goes first, Divine Masculine tends to follow. So we might find that the push from the Divine Masculine is that there's a see, I go to say an ascension process and Spirit stops me and said that's not necessarily what's happening. It is improving the condition of the connection, but it's just like realizations, and it's like time spent connecting with the feminine, time spent on their own, time spent connecting, time spent on their own, and then possibly there's a what I want to say is it's not necessarily the dream space that the High Priestess is affecting, but I feel like, see, even here, like, see how he's got his light out and he's looking for clues, he's looking for signs, he's looking for proof that this connection is what he thinks it is. He doesn't want to come forward looking like there's, you know, having these big ideals about what they think it's all about, and then only to find out that it's not. So all of this push, these signs and symbols that are being put upon him out in the real world or even in his imagined space, and there he is. He goes, I'm going to stay a little bit hidden. I'm going to stay in the covers. I'm going to hide behind everything that I think I know, and I'm going to shine a light over here on the connection. I'm going to like illuminate it a little bit to see what I can find out. I'm going to research a little bit more. I'm going to learn a little bit more about what everything that this High Priestess is releasing to me. What was interesting, because I do, and you know, I do reflect on mine and Ricky's journey, and I go, what did this energy look like when we were coming into union? Is that he was being very curious. It's like he didn't understand it fully, but he'd had enough information come forward to actually go, is that what we've got? I'm going to shine a light over there on, is this what we've got? And even if he, in those initial stages, he didn't fully invest in the information, or he didn't fully show up in that presence, but he was definitely, it was an energy of curiosity at what had been, that he'd been directed to head back towards our connection and learn about it more. And when we came together in these moments, we were going, well, there were being clues put in front of us, and he would go, well, let's investigate that more. I want to understand more about that. Interesting. So this could be a precursor to where these conversations start to come about, where they start to understand that they're in a divine level of connection and want to ask more significant questions, or even if they're going to hide behind everything that they're seeing and finding and revealing, they're going to shine a light on what it is they think they know. That's how I want to put that. Over here, the next level of energy, because what comes in is going, oh my God, she was an empress. She was an empress. Oh my gosh, this is what the information is revealing. She was an empress. She understands things that I can't even possibly begin to imagine. She's got this balance between the cosmos and the earth, and she's nurturing. She's a great mom. She's a great partner. She's a great daughter, sister. She's all of these wonderful, beautiful feminine qualities, and she's strong, and she leads, and she's independent, and she's governed by the stars, but she's connected to nature. She's an empress, and I never saw it. How was I so easily betrayed? There's truth and justice about who this person is. Oh my gosh, how did I not see it? How did I not see it? How did I not know? How did everything that was being shown to me not reveal that she was my divine counterpart? How did this information escape me? Now here comes the Justice card that wants to bring everything into balance. Now what I love about this, right, is because I'm reading on the energies of Pluto, which is like anything that might be, you know, a little bit secretive that you need to shine a light on, that wants to come out into the light, right? So this understanding of going, oh my gosh, I was deceptive and I didn't tell the truth and I didn't even understand the truth, and you know, all of these energies that needed to break through fears or mend broken hearts or come into clarity, come into healing, all of those big energies that we've been through are now ready to face their justice. Now Saturn ends its retrograde through Aquarius at the end of October, and we've got still in that time we have Venus in Libra, right? So here's the scales of justice, bringing some balance of truth to the scenario. And we've got Mercury in Virgo, and the swords are all about communication, and this is a very, very practical energy, and that's going to sits in Virgo till the 10th, I believe. And again, then we've got a full moon coming around that time as well. So there's a lot of really, really big cosmic energies that are playing out around the Empress that are you know, bringing this energy into some level of justice. They want to reap some kind of karma, and the reason I've talked about Saturn is because that retrograde is about the it's the goals in the higher good or the higher consciousness, and all the seeds that were being planted over that time it was in retrograde are going to come into some kind of fruit when it goes direct again at the end of the month. Now, so that sat there from early in June. So look at what's transpired around you between the start of June and the end of October, and what you'll start to see is the Empress coming into her own, revelations about the betrayals that have been taking place, and some kind of reckoning or some kind of balancing with some kind of communication, bringing forth a practical result. I just want to say practical result at this point. It's kind of a funny word when we're talking about twins, isn't it? But Page of Cups over the Three of Pentacles. Now, if he starts to understand who this feminine energy is in her Empress space, and the fact that he's behaved this way towards it, but it's got to come into some level of justice. Here's the mission for Divine Feminine. She's busy getting on mission. He shows up, and this is what I was saying about Ricky when he showed up. He didn't necessarily understand what he was showing up into, or what the connection, what was about to fruit. And he showed up with his cute little fish in a cup going, I just know that I'm meant to reconnect. Or just know, and any time I might have put resistance to it, he just kept showing up, kept showing up, kept showing up, kept showing up. So it turned very much into that chaser energy, and that's kind of what I'm feeling here. They don't necessarily know what they're chasing, or that their offer doesn't quite match it, but they're going to keep making offers as they go. So that's the next push from the universe. Here, how they're showing up is in the Devil and the Three of Swords. Look at this, right? How challenging is these energies in going, I see you in your Devil energy, and that you're starting to chase me in this particular way, but I don't necessarily match it at this point. I don't necessarily feel this level of obsession, or I don't feel this level of connection towards you, because I'm still moving through an energy that was pretty devastating to me, right? So this energy has played out a couple of times in the last few readings, in going that the Divine Feminine is struggling to overcome any hurt, and that the Divine Masculine might still trigger those wounds, right? Still showing up in the Devil energy. So however it plays out, sex, drugs, rock and roll, work, obsession, however this energy plays out for each individual in these scenarios, it's like you still get a taste of that Devil energy, and it's still putting those swords through your heart. So then when this offer looks very fishy, doesn't it? And you go, I don't know if I want to fish in a cup. It's struggle. I'm just going to keep working on mission and being about our connection, being here to serve something fruitful, and hoping that this fish in a cup energy improves. Now, what's in his soul space? He's legitimately trying to make a fresh new start. Legitimately. He wants to be better on so many different levels. The divine has offered his soul a fresh new start. But where are you sitting, divine feminine? You're a little bit defensive against it. Why? Because you're getting a taste of this devil energy still. Though that's not surprising. So what comes into this energy is an energy of juggling. So it might feel like push and pull for a little bit. So at times you might feel like he's sitting in his very, very 5D space where you've got this fresh new start and this Page of Cups coming in. But then at other times you're feeling the taste of the devil energy, which is got this, you know, swimming between past or the challenges of the past and the challenges of moving forward. And he might dance between the two for a minute because there's still a lack of understanding of what it is that he's actually moving into. The likely outcome, though, look at this, the Lovers in the Ten of Pentacles. Oh, this is the advice from Spirit, beg your pardon. The Lovers in the Ten of Pentacles. Divine feminine, you know what you've been waiting for. You know that your person is working through a process and you have to back yourself, right? You have to back yourself if you need to pull your energy back. You have to back yourself when you feel the energy to move forward. Not tipping into chaser energy, don't misquote me, but you know you need to back yourself when it's time to pull back and time to push forward. Here, they're going to start to bring the advice from Spirit is that they bring it all. Under this fresh new start, right? It's not enough to juggle. It's not enough to juggle you with anything. It's not enough to juggle you with work. It's not enough to juggle you with another person. It's not enough to juggle you with sex, drugs, rock and roll. Whatever it is that you're being juggled against, it's not enough. The advice from Spirit is that you are to bring it all, divine masculine. Bring the lot. Be loyal. Be wise. Be concrete. Be stable. Be loving. Bring every inch of faith, hope, and love that you can to this connection to allow your divine feminine to sit in the full expression of the Lovers. Righto. The likely outcome is that you're going to receive communication. So whatever is playing out from the 5D through the 3D, the divine masculine wants to talk. He wants to send a message. Now, in the Page of Swords energy, it's fast-paced communication. So it could be that you have connections via social media or digital exchanges, emails, messenger, any of those fast-paced energies, or if you're not in direct contact with your divine masculine. I always laugh. I see this little Facebook sign, even though it's trees blowing in the wind, I see like Facebook. So you might see something, Facebook, Instagram, social media, somewhere where it's fast-paced energy and a message is being sent forward. You might find that you're, not that I want you to chase, do not get into obsessive energy, but you might come across information that shows you where your divine masculine is placed with regard to the struggles that he's having. But it definitely feels like they want to communicate an ideal forward. Righto, let's have a look at some Divine Love Oracle and see where you're both placed with regard to that. Divine Feminine, I'm going to go first with your card and see what I draw for you. What have we got? Let's flip it around. See what we've got for you. Divine Feminine, a Divine Love Oracle for you. What have we got? Oh, baby girl, all cried out. What have we got for Divine Masculine? The Quantum Sea. Wow, interesting. Look at these black and white cards coming out. And 3 new eyes for the connection. Wow. Wow, Divine Feminine. Do you remember, I don't know if you've watched the last reading that I did, but I literally said that the last energy that I felt was that I just wanted to cry. I just wanted to cry and cry and cry and cry. And there was, most of it was imagined stress. There hadn't actually been a peak event that brought it on. But like I said, the energies of they came in, they went out, and they came in again. And in that last cycle that we went through, there were energies that took place between Ricky and I that definitely brought on some big compensation. You know, they were confrontational. When that intense confrontational energy hit, back when it did, which was, you know, around the end of August, start of September, we definitely went through some big conversations, and I shed a few tears, and it was very emotional, and Ricky went through his processes that were very emotional. But, and this is what I talk about harmonious union, you can go through those big processes together, but because we've lifted the vibration on our connection, we're able to hold it so that we don't come apart. So we went through those big processes, and I just felt like it was a repeat of those energies. It wasn't necessarily that there was a trigger event, but I just wanted to cry it out, you know, just get that emotion to move, find where the pain points were, you know, and they were more connected to, it was imagined stress, stuff from the past. But I wanted to lean into it. I was feeling it for a reason, so I magnified it, lean into it, gave it some conscious attention, took an action, and then replace that energy with gratitude. That is my process for dealing with pain points. So we got through that, and now I feel all cried out, like, oh, I've just exhausted the energy. So if you, I'm not going to lean big into those how to do that. Like over on that key concepts idea, I definitely express what it is to move through those pain point ideals. So I won't drag this reading out going through it again. But all cried out is the energy. So we've exhausted a pain point under that under this wave of energy. Quantum C. See, this is super interesting because what you've got over here is a real push for understanding some concepts, right? So here is like understanding divinity and shining a light on the process and having the 5D and the 3D world start to have some kind of interaction. And then over here we're going, all right, I understand who my Empress is. I understand that there's a process that we've been through that's caused a level of distrust, and I want to bring the scenario into a level of justice. Now, what the divine masculine thinks about, does, says, acts, do, the quantum C is going to respond, and reality will be right 100% of the time. So if justice right now is him going through the processes of going, what does it feel like to think about the Empress? What does it feel like when she's constantly put in his field of vision? What does it feel like to hold a light out for this connection and start to understand it more? And the more work he does on that, the more focus that he puts into it, the more the quantum seed will start to respond. Now, why is that? Why is this process happening? Is because the divine feminine on her side of this quantum connection is moving more towards mission, right? She's moving more towards aligning with a higher vibration and bringing these connections online at that higher vibe. This quantum C will react accordingly. It will react accordingly. Now, what this connection then looks like, you go from, look at the shift in the eyes, and I know it's probably, it might not be easy to see, but this is an eye closed, right? And this is an eye wide open. So the connection starts to look very, very different. There's a genuine shift starting to occur, and you get to see it through new eyes. But, and this is, I slam this message home all the time. If you do not do the work, you will not see this connection through new eyes. If you're going to focus on separation as your only ideal, and you want to sit in an energy where you've got to constantly cry it out, because you can sit in pain, sure, work the process, but do not sit in suffering. You will not get these new eyes if you choose to sit in suffering. So every time you get the push of a pain point, it's doing the work. It's getting into this energy. Like if the King of Pentacles is sitting in this point with the meditation energy and this inner will, this is going, do the inner work that's required to deliver you into your destiny. You want to see through new eyes, you want your connection to have a brand new outlook, do the work, divine feminine, do the work that is required for mission. So it's a big message, and I harp on it all the time. Is it likely that you're going to start to see some shifts in the connection? I definitely say yes. Yes, there's definitely a shift from the energies that we've been in, where these energies have cycled over each other, and it felt like we've done a repeat of what we've just been through. Are we about to move into a new view? Yes, the connection is about to have a new perspective. It's going to look through new eyes. Righto, I'm going to wrap that connection up there, and I'm going to have one more reminder that those key concept playlists is it's there and available. I'm going to keep adding to it as I go, and there's also a meditation available, and it keeps coming up in this space that meditation is an important aspect for you right now to dive into those 5D realms and learn all that you can, learn and grow and move into your process of mission even more significantly. So that meditation that I've created it's designed to stretch your spiritual muscles, right? It's designed to work these processes strongly. So it's the idea of knowing that you have that the gland in the middle of your brain, which is where your third eye sits, and it's exercising that from the inner to the outer so that you can get the maximum capacity of a high priestess energy where 5D and 3D are working together. So that meditation is legitimately focused at stretching, strengthening excuse me, those spiritual muscles that allow the high priestess to do her job more effectively. And it looks to me like you're coming more into the strength of those processes. Righto. So you can catch up with us on our other social media platforms. But like I said, I will be away for a few days. I'm going to a wedding and I'm so excited to be there. It's someone who's very special to me, who's marrying her sweetheart, a long-term love and a beautiful connection. So I'm going to have a lovely weekend full of beautiful, loving sentiment. I'm so looking forward to it. But it means I'll be away for a little bit and won't be doing an energy update. So and I probably won't be able to follow up messages and that kind of thing. I just want to throw myself into this really, really happy event because I've all cried out. Righto, so I'm going to wrap it up there. That's it for me in faith, hope and love. It's bye from me for now.